At this time, we'll go ahead and call the public hearing to order. Following items of business will be heard in the matter of rezoning property located at 322 Camp Lillard Way, map 083, parcel 081.13 from R1 to C2, and in the matter of rezoning a property located on Cosby Highway, map 083, parcel 081.16 from R1 to C2. Is there anyone here who would like to speak on those matters? One at a time, please. Come on up. If you don't mind, just state your name before you start. You come on up there, please.
My name is Cynthia Freeman,
Okay.
and I'm going to start with saying that.
Ma'am, hold the microphone down just a little. There you go. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Start by saying that our families that are concerned about this, we have signatures that we have gotten, nearly 200, and then we have a lot of the people that are here today that are here to support us for this. We do have concerns, legitimate concerns, but we also are generations and generations of families that have lived there. It's not an option for us to sell our property because this has been handed down from generation to generation. I have lived there for 42 years. My mother and father-in-law live there, my sister-in-law, my son, his family, so we're just continuing on that. We oppose it because one of our main concerns is the safety, the extra traffic and congestion that's going to be presented with the business if there is one there. We still don't know for sure. We know what they are proposing, but once it is zoned as commercial, we've been told that anything can go there. Once it's zoned, they can put anything there that they want. There's no turning lane from Highway 321 onto Rebels Road, nor is there a turning lane from Highway 321 onto the land proposed for the rezoning. Without using Rebels Road, traffic wanting to access the property coming from Newport would be required to either, one, make an illegal U-turn after they get on 321 that goes down to 2 lanes from the 4-lane, or they would have to turn onto the old Cosby Highway, then turn on the Wilton Springs and come back up. That proposes a problem if the trucks that would be bringing the goods would pass up that entrance on 321. If they are to turn on to Rebels Road, there is no way for those transfer trucks to turn around. So that's a concern for us. Another thing is the intersection. If you look at where there already is a business at Lane's Market, both sides of 321, the intersection there, it's dangerous. There's been accidents that have been there, and they have a turnoff lane to go into that business. They have caution lights warning you that that is a dangerous intersection there. Then there's the issue of the delivery trucks accessing the commercial property. I've already talked about how they might use GPS, and if they miss the road, then it's going to propose a problem on Rebels Road. There are no lines on Rebels Road after the state, what they are be taken care of. There's no lines. So it almost goes down to a single lane. 2 cars can pass, but if you put a truck on that road, that's going to present problems for us. Aesthetically, commercial property, there is nothing, there's no sort of buffer that is between our property. There's a driveway, and then the property begins. My daughter-in-law will talk to you a little more about how far it is from their front door. It's 32 feet to the property line. There's no trees, there's nothing. All of that has already been cut down on the line. So that is not appealing to us. We're concerned about the infrastructure. As far as we know, and we only had a week to try to research and get the information that we have, there's no sewer system there. We all have septic tanks in that area. So what happens if they put a commercial structure there? What are they going to do about water and sewer and electricity? The electricity and the water is run up there, but then what do you do about the sewer system? We're already being told to manage our electric use.
Ms. Freeman, I'm gonna ask you, if you don't care, to go ahead and wrap it up so I can give everybody else time to talk to.
Okay, I'll let the next one come up.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
My name is Whitney Freeman. And continuing on with what she said, I live at 79 Rebels Road. My property it's actually 38 feet from the line of 322, Camp Way. Just past Rebels Road, Highway 321 goes from 4 lanes down to 2 lanes. While the speed limit there does decrease to 45 before coming to Rebels Road, most people don't heed this, as there have been several times that my family has almost been hit as we're trying to turn from Highway 321 onto Rebels Road. People try to zoom around you, get around the people in the right-hand lane so that they can hurry up and get in front of everybody. Since there is no turning lane there is only enough room for one vehicle to be out of the Highway 321 traffic. You also have the traffic trying to cross Old Cosby Highway. You have the traffic trying to come out of the woodshed, as well as wonderfully made coffee shop that has to cross 2 lanes to be able to make a U-turn. All of this is going to create a backup into 321. You also have heavily trafficked RVs going toward Gatlinburg. On Rebels Road itself, we have families that walk their dogs. My family likes to ride our bikes. We have 3 small children, 3, 6, and 9 years old. I wouldn't feel safe doing that if there was more traffic than what there already is, especially if there were big trucks. With the aesthetics, we're concerned about our property values are going to go down. We're concerned our property taxes might go up. We have concern about potential pollution, runoff, litter, disruption to natural habitats from the commercial development. You have Cosby Creek that runs near that. Is that going to be a potential problem? And what kind of impact would that have on the environment? There's going to be extra noise. Business operations like deliveries, customer activity, and machinery generate excessive noise, disturbing the peace. As a homeschool parent, we enjoy being able to take our children outside, weather permitting, and do school outside. We all know children have attention spans that like to wander at times. If there are other things distracting their attention, it's hard for me to get them to focus. The current economy and inflation, we're concerned about the sustainability of the proposed commercial property. As it's been said, if it's rezoned to general commercial, they can put any type of property business there that they want. There are no guarantees or restrictions that the property owners have to build exactly what is proposed currently. If original business endeavors fail and prove to be non-profitable, we have concerns that the property would be sold to a development corporation and completely wiped out. The property line, as we've said, it's 38 feet from our porch. Nobody wants a business literally in their front yard. I understand that there are businesses closer. I understand that may not be a concern for everybody. But when I have 3 small children at home and we homeschool and we're home all day long, that's a big concern for me. What type of business is going to be put there? What kind of customers is that going to attract? My children's safety and their privacy means more to me than anything. My children should be able to go out in their front yard and play and not worry about being watched. I, as a parent, should not have to worry about, is somebody watching my children? Is somebody watching my house? Are my children safe at night? This is just all extra things that we have to now worry about. We're not against growth altogether. We understand growth can be good, but we feel residential should remain residential. This property is too close to residential homes. There is only a very small thin line of trees separating our property from the property and the driveway that they have already built. It doesn't provide adequate separation or privacy. I implore you to please vote no on this. This majorly impacts several families, including mine.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does someone else? Come on.
My name is Randall Freeman. I obviously don't have any written remarks or anything like that, so I'm going to keep it really simple. What I have is the petition that we actually took around that had all the signatures. So this, and anybody that wants a copy, and I'm not going to try to be confrontational or hateful or anything like that to the Lillards. This is nothing personal, I promise you. when y'all bought the property, whatever it was that you bought the property, and you wanted to build houses, you wanted to have a farm, you wanted to
Mr.
have.
Freeman, if you don't mind, address
Okay,
us,
sorry.
not.
Sorry, so when I want everyone to know then, but I wanted to make it apparent to them, I wanted to know that I'm being honest. When they wanted to build a home, have a barn, do tiny houses, whether it was one or whatever it was, their plans, that was their property, they all did that right. We were fine with that. So it's nothing personal, we don't have any ought against you. What we would heard, the plan was for it to be a strip mall with apartments over top of it. And like it's already been said, I'm not gonna rehash it. No one wants that business close to it. They don't live on that property. If they wanna move, build a house there and have it there too in close proximity, then that would be their prerogative, they can. As it's done been said, if they ever decide they don't wanna lease the property, they don't want to be businessmen and entrepreneurs, they don't want that, they have every right and the ability to sell. We technically have the ability to sell, but my father is dead. He's not building any more houses. My family has always lived here. We have nowhere else to, we do have somewhere to go, but I don't want to be forced into making that decision between, do I want to live behind what is proposed and what is by definition, according to the Cocke County zoning definitions of what a C2 commercial property is. It can be a gas station where you can buy alcohol. It can be a lounge or a bar where you can buy alcohol. The woodshed used to be a bar before it was the woodshed. So it doesn't have to be within inside city limits to be able to sell alcohol. Now those are the worst of the worst that I could think of being in that close proximity to a residential area. That does not mean that's what's going in. And again, with this petition, what we've put in, we do not say they're putting a bar in. So I don't want anyone, whether it's the board, the Lillards, or any of the people that are here that signed the petition to think that we were trying to make it sound worse than what it was. We were laying out the facts of what possibly can be. And people made their decisions based off of what we had heard, and we said it, and if they wanted to, they could confirm it. Strip mall with apartments, but once it's zoned that is not the only thing that can be put onto that property. And so I just wanted to make that clear. And I know not everybody's gonna talk, but if you would, if you're opposed to this, would you just raise your hand to show who's opposed to it, and therefore, if you're for it, now raise your hand. If you're for the rezoning of this property, if you'll raise your hand. So that to me shows what the people on Rebels Road that will be mostly impacted on the rezoning of this property, how we feel about it. And so it's not just Freeman's versus the Lillards or anything like that, but it is that small community, how we felt about it. And I'm not trying to make general assumptions or anything like that. That's why I wanted to give everybody the opportunity if they didn't want to speak.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Freeman.
Sir.
Speak on it.
Yes, about 4 or 5 minutes, please, and we'll, because we need to move on. That's fine.
As a Lillard, this is Justin Lillard. So, I do understand concerns if it was Rebels Road, but we have an entrance that the city actually paved for us during the expansion of 321 into this 2016, 2017. So, before the whole zoning laws came in, we already had intentions for that, and the city came in and gave us an entrance from 321. So there would be no traffic, no intentions on Rebels Road. And the state already told me as far as the procedures we have to go through to be able to get a turning lane if we were to come in from the opposite direction to go in. But as you can see, the only family that is any vicinity of this is here. And I do understand that they have their whole family directly behind ours. But we have 1,800 linear feet of road frontage on 321. This has nothing to do with Rebels Road. The only thing that I can see being their concern would be the fact that they live very close to our property line but how the elevations of the road and their houses is at least 30 feet in elevation. So parking lots and anything with the strip mall would be down at the elevation of the highway. And the road that we have, all of our underground utilities go on the property line pretty much. We can't do anything for what, 50 feet right there? So the 38 feet plus 50 feet, we're almost 100 feet away from them. And if it's a concern, we'll gladly put a fence up as tall as they want to block any noise, anything we have. And which I do understand that certain stores would have to get certain permissions, and we don't have any intentions. I have here what, like the look of it. It's actually gonna be a really nice farmhouse style. It's Lillard Farms. And fun fact on the history of it, because I do understand they've been there for centuries as well, but all this property back in the 1700s was the Lillard's property. And that's all, I was so thankful having the opportunity to buy the property back, to come find out. And it's DeWay O'Neill that educated me on all this. He showed me all the documents and showed me where the Lillard Cemetery and how the Lillard plot, because Colonel William Lillard, hence the name Camp Lillard, was the first to settle here and break it off before Tennessee was even a state. So as far as going roots back, we would have the strongest roots to have any argument on that. But as far as our intentions is to bring economic growth, because we also had several conversations with the TIF money, and we do know that it's a $5 million minimum to be able to be eligible for the TIF. So this is gonna be one heck of a shopping plaza to be able to spend $5 million. And we're talking about the nicest one in Cocke County, and the nicest shops in Cocke County. And it's gonna be hair salons, boutiques, an insurance company, and just all in one shopping plaza. And it's not gonna be anything bad. And I know that they mentioned apartments, and with the zoning, we can't do apartments. Once it's zoned commercial, we can't do apartments. So it's one or the other, so I don't want any mix-up on that. It's either commercial or we have, right now as it sits, we have the ability to just throw a bunch of apartments on
All
there. So,
right. Thank you.
but if you don't mind me showing here on the site plan,
Real quick.
you can see that the entrance we have through 21 is already paved. And, which we do have entrance through Rebel Road as well. But it's already been laid out for the infrastructure back in 2016.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I'll be brief. I own a piece of property down Rebels Way. I've owned it for quite a few years. I am not a resident here, permanent. I understand where everyone's coming from. I've lived in Florida for 60 plus years. I understand what all these new commercial buildings are going to bring to the area. All the homeless people, all the vagrants, and anything else that are going to be at everyone's front doorstep. I don't think this needs to go. If you want to be commercial, take it in the city limits. That's where it needs to be. Thank you.
All right. We have a Ruba Fox that signed up.
I'm here to present information. I think it'll be on the second half of this. I'm presenting possibly a fit into your minutes.
What are you speaking on?
I'm speaking on the regular meeting, not the,
Of what part?
it should relate to the district attorney, item 8 on the agenda. Is what I'm hoping to present. Is that okay? And
Not necessarily, no, ma'am. I'm not sure what you're speaking of.
this is, yeah, because I'm doing the second,
On the matter report from the county attorney?
yes. Would that be now, or do you want to do the other meeting first and then?
Well, I'm not sure.
I'm here for the same reason. You guys asked, the last meeting you voted 14-0 to refer a matter to the county attorney.
Yes, that's what we were discussing.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's the other half of this meeting. Do we-
Mr. Owens, was you gonna speak on that tonight?
I'm going to address it briefly.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm.
Real
you want me
brief,
to
that's
speak
fine,
now, or
yes.
you want me to speak
No,
after?
go ahead.
Okay. So I wanted to speak on that, and this had to do with the referral of Incredible Tiny Homes / Incredible Properties LLC, and whether or not they're, just a few items I wanted to talk about.
Here we go. Here goes another one. Here goes to Charleston. This is going to go to lot 91.
That's all I wanted to put on. It says Lot 91, that's Incredible Tiny Homes going up on the mountain resort, where this company, or has, the planning commission has worked for multiple years to bring Incredible Tiny Homes / Incredible Properties LLC into compliance and have them follow safety issues and egress issues and following the PUD / subdivision stuff. And they're located just up on Industrial Road. These two companies have always said that there are only 85 lots. That's all the information they've presented to the county on the mountain. And I've spoken before the planning commission before twice, and I've spoken before this body last month. And that we're just basically saying that they had said that these were potentially grandfathered in. And the video that I just played said that they're on lot 91. There's a lot more lots than that, but they're always telling you it's 85, but they actually let slip that they're delivering a house to lot 91. So they're in the process right now of putting homes on the mountain. They're telling the public that they're going to be moving in within a couple of months or right away. But they're, as my understanding, you guys all have put a work order on them for them to stop until they meet with, with the compliances of the subdivision rules, which they're apparently not doing. And where I find myself now is that since I've spoken here, I have actually had 2 court cases in general sessions with this company having to do with contract fraud, and it's been forwarded twice, and I expect when we have a 3rd date set up for April 4th, because they keep presenting inauthentic documents in my case, and so it has to do with contract stuff, but it also has to do with this particular place. And so, I was going to use on this.
Yeah, if you don't mind, go ahead and wrap it up. So I've got another one, so let's speak for us.
Okay, and what I find on this though, is this is not just a case of like what you maybe heard of pump and dump. It's more like dump the residents, run them through court, give them court costs, resell the lots for another $30,000, put somebody else on there, and leave people like me with the court costs. So residents are just basically paying for the privilege of living here, not knowing that they're participating in this, and everybody's afraid to say anything because they know they can be next.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Michael Ridgway.
It's not obvious from the names, but she is my wife. Those are my last names. I appreciate the opportunity to talk here. This is the first time I've come to speak. And my wife has been much more outspoken about this than I have. You've seen her here before. This is my first time at this meeting at all. However, I've been in this building now 2 times. We're going to have to be back here on the 4th of April. And I would highly urge all of you who are on the legislative committee, county legislative body, to attend that trial. It's before Judge Roach, instead of in front of Judge Strange. And the reason is, for reasons he did not state, Judge Strange recused from our case on the 14th of March. Excuse me, on the 4th of March, and he got pushed to Judge Roach on the 14th, and then we came in and presented, well, they basically were beginning to make a case, and we made a motion to dismiss on the grounds that they had submitted a fraudulent copy of the lease, fraudulent or inauthentic copy of the lease in our case. They did this to a friend of ours too, and his case was on March 4th, and the judge ruled against him. And so he had 10 days to get his tiny home out of that community. And also he got hit with reverse attorney's fees from one of the most expensive law firms in the state. This is a man who's 63 years old, I'm 65 myself. He's disabled, he has no income. Had he not been able to get that tiny home out of that property, in all likelihood, they would have seized the tiny home immediately, put it in impound, dropped the charges for the towing and the impound on this individual, and then would have said, and you can't get it out, because they would have put a lien for the reverse attorney's charges on that vehicle, on that house. He would have lost the house too, not just the lot. He's fully entitled under the law to another 3 years because he and my wife and I did exactly the same procedures to renew our leases. And we talked to a neighbor right down the street who's not in conflict with these people. Hers was instantly renewed under the same terms. But they've come after us because my wife has spoken here, and because I am the person who maintains a group on Facebook called Incredible Tiny Homes / Incredible Properties, Tell Me More. It's the place where people who've been victimized by this company can tell their story. Because if you go onto the YouTube channel and try to tell your story, Amanda Hayes is the moderator of that forum. She immediately deletes derogatory comments, anything negative. Okay? And in the last week, Randy Jones made specific reference to me as a person who complains about illegal fire burning on their properties, especially in a place that's close to the residents. They don't need to burn there. They have all the land on Buffalo Creek and on the mountain where they could burn, but they insist on burning things, and I have videos right on this phone of things that they burned illegally in past instances. He complained about me going after the fire marshals to try to get them to be brought to heel when it comes to burning things. We have one resident in the community, and we would love to have him come and testify at our trial because he knows so much, but the guy's a former military member, veteran, underwater definitions, and he's afraid to testify because he's afraid that he'll be the next person evicted. The main reason they're coming after us is because we defended the other person who had no one to defend him. He was in that courtroom, he couldn't afford an attorney, and what they did that was so outrageous, and this is why we want to especially bring this to the county attorney's attention, they submitted documents that included language that said that reverse attorney's fees go to the winner. That is not in the actual contract that's in place. And the mistake that the plaintiffs made in this case is they dropped that document in his case, and then we came up, we didn't contest the bogus contract that they put into our case. We just stipulated to it effectively, and then the judge brought us forward, showed us the document, and this document was missing the signature of Incredible Properties principal, Randy Jones. And because of that, the judge said, well, you have to know that under Tennessee law, if there's a missing signature and it's just yours, that this is no longer a 3-year lease renewable, this is now a month-to-month. And under a month-to-month, you can be, either party can terminate the lease for any reason, any time. He was about to rule against us, and had he ruled against us, we also would have been given 10 days to get out, and we would have been hit with a reverse attorney's fees. But the thing is, we are actually in a place.
Wrap it up.
I will wrap it up. The thing that's really important to understand is we have a lot on the mountain. If they can get that lot out of their hands, they're going to get $40,000 in key money. We don't even know if key money is legal in the state of Tennessee. But the way it works is you give them this thing that's called a deposit, and it's for the flats, it's $30,000. For the mountain, it's $40,000. So if they can get that lot on the mountain out of our hands, the lot that we're living on in the prairie out of our hands, they've already gotten the other one from our friend Matthew. So that's $30,000 plus $30,000 plus $4,000. That's $100,000 that they will be able to collect from the next people that move in that they wouldn't get if we kept those properties for the next 3 years. So this is a very serious matter, and in my opinion, this is very ripe for prosecution today. We'd be happy to cooperate in any way with the county, with the attorneys, and with all of you, and we would hope to send documentation to you in email.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'll leave the order.
All right, Cocke County Legislative Body now in session. Chairman Norman Smith resigning, Mayor Rob Madden not present.
Mr. Bachelor, you will just.
Heavenly Father, thank you for this beautiful day. It's indeed been a gorgeous day, and we give you all the praise and the glory. We ask now that you'll help us in this meeting, help each one of these commissioners, and help these people in this audience to understand what's going on, and help us all that will do your will, and help us to be better leaders, and help us to put more faith in you, Father. Be with us, watch over us, and guide us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for
right, first thing on tonight's agenda is roll call, please.
Andy Ford.
Here.
Bill Miller.
Here.
Gayla Blazer. Here. Jason McMahon.
Here.
Norman Smith.
Here.
Tracy Stepp. Jonathan Templin.
Here.
Jeff Esslinger.
Here.
Dan Brock.
Here.
Wilma Ball. Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdall.
Here.
Tim Lehman.
Here.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.
All right, next thing on the agenda is approval of minutes. We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Vassar, we have a second. Mr. Templin. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Number 3, elections, appointments, and reports, notaries, Crystal Tomalati and Zachary Valentine. We have a motion to approve. Mr. McMahon, second by Mr. Bryant. Any questions? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carried. B, in the matter of reading committee reports, budget.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the tax transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the county.
We have a motion to approve.
I'll
Mr.
make a
Baxter,
motion,
do we have a
sir.
second? Mr. Hudson, any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp. Jonathan Templin.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Brock.
Yes.
Wilma Ball. Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdall.
Yes.
Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Welcome to, sir.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the tax transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the school system.
We have a motion to approve. Mr. Esslinger, and we have a second by Mr. Vassar. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp. Jonathan Templin.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Brock.
Yes.
Wilma Ball. Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdall.
Yes.
Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Welcome to, sir.
All right, in the matter of approving the attached,
Sorry.
go ahead, you go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the approval of the tax transfers and amendments and waives the reading of the same for the school, for the food services.
You did better not with that. Mr. Vassar, and seconded by Mr. Esslinger. Any questions?
So
Here.
they're buying a vehicle with this? I mean, I see your service trucks for it, okay.
Any other questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp. Jonathan Templin.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Brock.
Yes.
Wilma Ball. Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdall. Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Welcome to, sir.
Mr. Chairman, the Budget Committee recommends the sale of the attached sheriff's office surplus vehicles.
We have a motion.
Okay.
Mr. Miller and Mr. Esslinger. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford.
Yes.
Bill Miller.
Yes.
Gayla Blazer.
Yes.
Jason McMahon.
Yes.
Norman Smith.
Yes.
Tracy Stepp. Jonathan Templin.
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger.
Yes.
Dan Brock.
Yes.
Wilma Ball. Rick Vassar.
Yes.
David Verdall.
Yes.
Tim Lehman.
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
That's all I'm
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Anything for sanitation?
No.
Anything from general committee? Public safety?
Mr. Chairman, the public safety has met 3 consecutive months on priority ambulance service. We had all positive reinforcements for priority ambulance service to extend the contract. So I would say maybe if that we need to make a motion to send this to the county attorney to extend the contract for priority ambulance service. Is that correct?
Yes, and have it on the next agenda.
That
to
is
vote,
right, sir.
correct?
Then that way there would be for the Cocke County CLB to
To
vote
approve.
to extend the contract in It was a unanimous decision
Okay.
by the public safety.
So your
Cocke County
motion
Public
is,
Safety.
is to send the contract to the county attorney prepared to have at the next meeting
That is correct,
to
sir,
extend the contract with priority ambulance
for
service.
5 years.
For 5
Yes,
years.
sir.
All right,
No additional, it will be for the same amount as the
Okay.
contract has been for 2 years.
all right,
They will just extend it for 5 years, no additional charges or anything.
Right.
And I think the district says that will save Cocke County several dollars.
okay, do we have a second on that? Mr. Esslinger, any questions? The motion is to give it to the county attorney, prepare it for the next meeting. We'll actually vote on the contract at the next meeting. Is there any questions? Hearing none, since we're not officially voting on the contract, but just to give it to the county attorney, we'll do a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? That motion carried.
Thank you, sir.
Anything else? From the public safety, Mr. Pastor, is that all?
That's all, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything from purchasing? Rafting? Okay. The county mayor is not here. Report from the county attorney.
All right, good evening.
Good evening.
Over the last 30 days, I guess, we have been pretty busy. We've worked on a number of contracts, one with BLE for landfill surveying. We've been working on a mutual aid agreement. I have that in a draft form that I have sent to the fire chief this afternoon. And we've been working on other contracts. We've been speaking with county officials and office holders and employees on various issues, from the Register of Deeds to the emergency management officer to the property assessor to the sheriff to the mayor and others. So we've been pretty busy. We met with county officials last Tuesday in person. Gavin and I came up and we had a meeting. And so with those things going on, we're getting a much clearer picture of Cocke County. And that's helping us. One of the reasons that we came up last Tuesday was to talk with Ashley Shelton, the building commissioner, about the tiny homes project. And I know we've been tasked with addressing that, and you all tasked us with that. So I have a letter that's in draft form that is still making its way through our government here, still making its way through all of the hands that I think need to see it before it goes out. And when it's in final form, I'll be glad to send it to each of you, because it'll be a public document at that point. And but it is going to address this whole situation. We have been fact gathering, and there's a lot of facts floating around out there about tiny homes. I will say that I've been getting calls from people like have spoken here tonight that are unhappy with tiny homes, that they've been in a contractual relationship with tiny homes, and their argument is that they haven't been given all of their rights. Their rights haven't been fulfilled under the contractual agreements. That's between the lot owners, those who purchased the properties, and tiny homes. That part doesn't involve county government. But I've also looked at a lot of past correspondence between the parties, between tiny homes and the former county attorney, with the building commissioner, with the planning commissioners and others. I've also looked through all of that correspondence. We've researched the law, we've reviewed the law in relation to this. Documents, we have looked at, I couldn't tell you how many documents that have been involved, and have been changing hands for a year and a half. I've looked at the minutes from the past Cocke County Planning Commission meetings. I have, like I say, had a personal meeting, face-to-face meeting with some of the county officials. And the letter is in draft form. Once it makes its way through all the hands that I think it needs to go through, it's already gone through one set of hands, and it's going to be in front of a few others, including the mayor, those that are involved in the day-to-day operation of the planning commission, and our building commissioner certainly. And they'll be ready to send. And I'll send that letter to the attorney for tiny homes. That attorney has written me, and she's called me a couple of times. We've exchanged emails, so she knows my email address and knows how to get a hold of me. But the next correspondence will be going to her. And it will involve the zoning and whether the subdivision regulations that we have apply. So I'll leave it at that.
Okay. Any questions for, sir, go ahead.
Welcome, Mr. Attorney.
Yes, sir.
The mutual agreement that you spoke of from the fire departments.
Yes.
Could you tell the 6th District and all the commissioners, is that mutual agreement just with one fire department, or is it with all the volunteer fire departments?
It's with one fire department, as I stand here. It's with one fire department, and it'll be coming back to you for your consideration. I think it needs to come here for your consideration and approval if we're going to enter into a mutual aid agreement. So it's not ready tonight, but it'll be ready next month, but it's with one. Any other questions? Glad to answer.
Thank you. Matter of report from county commissioners, if any. I've got, we did have a resignation from the rec board. Ms. Shelley Hammonds has resigned due to not having time to fulfill what she needed to do on that board because of a promotion, so we do have an opening on the rec board. I'm gonna ask that it be printed, anybody that's interested in serving on that board, if they wanna send a resume to maybe the mayor's office and let them forward that to me, please, so we can get that seat filled. Anybody else have anything else? If not, in a matter of report from Cocke County Partnership.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I think you have my report in front of you, but I want to add a couple things since the report was sent to you in advance. The partnership and the IDB both met last Wednesday, and we had very productive meetings. And in addition, we toured the Innovation Center, which is something that everyone in Cocke County can be proud of because that's going to be an incredible asset to recruiting companies and industries here in the future. So I commend the Cocke County Board of Education for their excellent vision in doing that. Also, we hosted someone from the state for a 3-star meeting. We are finishing up on our grant for last year's funding and then submitting a plan for next year's funding. In addition, the partnership was selected, Newport Cocke County was selected to attend the Retail Academy, which we attended, and that enabled us to obtain demographic information, radius rings, maps, and all that will be used to recruit more retail to the county, which hopefully will result in more sales tax, which should benefit the county as well. In addition, we submitted and were selected for a property evaluation program. There are only 3 counties in the state of Tennessee selected. We were one of those. We will have visitors and host them on April the 24th. They come into our county, they evaluate several pieces of property that we think could potentially be used for commercial or industrial use in the future, and then they provide us a free report, which we then can also share with the property owners as well. As far as the SF 299 on the Hallstock Bike Trail, we did finally receive word back from the U.S. Forest Service. They've got a couple things they want some additional information on, so we're going to submit that to the U.S. Forest Service. In addition, I met with the district ranger of the U.S. Forest Service, who happened to be here in Newport for the 150th celebration of Arbor Day in the state of Tennessee. So I had a great conversation with him, and we're working together very well. As far as the Smoky Mountain Innovation Park, our next plan is to get sewer installed. We have funds set aside for that. The engineer is currently working on that. So just as soon as he finishes his plans, that will go out to bid, and then we will be able to have sewer all throughout the Smoky Mountain Innovation Park. If you notice some grading going out there, we are about 92% done on the upper end, which is the site development grant. All that's been paid for. We're just closing out the books on that grant for the site development grant. What we're currently doing right now is finishing up on the front of the property, and that's with a TVA Invesco prep grant. And so we should be wrapping that up in the next couple of months. There was a master plan that went out to bid through East Tennessee Development District. It went out to bid, they were due in on February 15th. A firm was selected to do that, and they're going to start work on that. Newport Utilities will take the lead on that project. Also, in case any of you have any questions about the Mountain Strong Fund, if you remember, those were funds donated that the partnership set up an account at First Horizon Bank. That account was set up, and there were checks distributed to businesses and individuals in need who suffered from the after effects of Hurricane Helene. Phase 1, there was $257,000 distributed to small businesses. Phase 2, $539,000 distributed to the individuals affected and other businesses. Phase 2, Part B, $144,000 distributed to the businesses in Hartford, and those were primarily whitewater rafting businesses and other businesses around the area. I do want to commend Chairman Miller for attending that meeting with us, and that was a very productive meeting with the whitewater rafting industry, and I'm available to answer any questions about that. In addition, the partnership hosted Tennessee Department of Tourist Development Commissioner Mark Ezell. We hosted him here. He brought in TDOT, TWRA. In addition, North Carolina TDOT was here as well, TDEC. And so we're working to address all the issues at the whitewater rafting. We're hoping that they're going to be able to run and get all that done. And Commissioner of Tourism has showed up in Cocke County in a big way. The total funds distributed to date is $940,000 that have gone to residents in Cocke County. Also, I wanted to mention Jimbo Whaley, our next door neighbor in Sevier County, has an annual bluegrass concert at Country Tonight Theater. And he called me up one day and volunteered to do a benefit concert for Mountain Strong. And that's going to be this Saturday night, March 22nd at 7 o'clock at the Country Tonight Theater in Pigeon Forge. So I want to recognize him and appreciate his contributions, and we all need good neighbors like that. In addition, as far as a related note, Industrial Development Board will be submitting to the Finance Director the final invoice for the remainder of the year for the funds, and that should be on your agenda next month. That's all I got, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Anybody have any questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Brady.
Thank you.
All right, in a matter of report from Priority Ambulance Service, that copy was enclosed. In a matter of report from Keep Cocke County Beautiful, that copy was enclosed in the packet. There's nothing from the Corrections Partnership, so we'll get to new business. First thing on new business, I've been asked if we would, I was asked if we could suspend the rules. I don't like to do that, but talking to Miss Reed, this gentleman's been waiting on this tax refund for a while. There was problems getting all the paperwork together, and she's asked if we could suspend the rules for this. It's for Robert Campbell for $88.
I'll make the motion.
To suspend the rules,
Yes,
we have a
sir.
second by Mr. Bryant. Any questions on suspending the rules? If not, all those in favor of suspending the rules say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, that motion carried. So at this time, we'll take up the property tax for Robert Austin Campbell in the amount of $88. We have a motion to
I'll
approve.
make the motion.
Mr. Vassar, seconded by Ms. Blazer. Any questions? Hearing none, a roll call please on this tax refund of $88.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Next, A, in the matter of approving a fee structure for requested planning commission and BZA agenda items to be paid by the applicant. Do we have a motion to approve that?
I'll make the motion.
All right, Mr. Vassar, seconded by Mr. Templin. Any questions? Sir, go ahead.
Where will those funds go, like, from the fee? They go to the county?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Any other questions? Let's do a roll call on that, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Vote to, sir.
All right, B, in the matter of approving the rezoning of the property located on 322 Camp Lillard Way from R1 to C2. Do we have a motion to approve? Mr. Ford, do we have a second? Second by Mr. Miller. Any questions? Go ahead.
I know we were talking, somebody had addressed turning lanes as a safety issue up there. How will that be addressed? I mean, is there somebody, Phil here from the planning committee? Phil, can I ask you a question?
Phil, is Phil here? Mr. Morgan?
Mr.
Yeah,
Morgan?
you want to address it?
I just have a question really quickly, and I'm sure that you all did this in the planning commission, but I know that, I'm sure that all those, the questions that they had and the safety concerns were addressed, right, by you all. Like, I think they said something about sewer system. Is there a sewer system up there for that?
Not that we're aware of, but, I mean, there's commercial, that's been identified as a commercial corridor by the city and the state.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm just asking to
It's
just
got
address those safety
water and
concerns.
electric
Just water and electric right now, okay. And then the turn lanes will be addressed by the state or whatever,
That's
right?
T-Dot,
Yeah,
yeah.
see that, okay, all right. All right, that's really it.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Mr. Knapp.
Obviously, the concern was about setbacks.
Yeah,
That they'll have to abide by the setback rules.
Yeah, they have to abide by all the setback rules and
So, I mean,
everything.
there will be a footage that they have to.
Absolutely. And we didn't see anything about involving Rebel Road. I think it used to be Rebel Way, but it's Rebel Road. What we saw was the building was designed to be on 321.
so they're not gonna use that road?
That's what we looked at. It looked like it was going to access 321. Yeah.
So is there any way to address commercial traffic on that road? Rebel Way, I mean, would there be a way to?
With it being a road, now, the county road department, you all at some point stated it in, it's a road now.
Right,
You could weight limit it.
okay.
I mean,
I just wondered if that would help ease some of those concerns
You
to
could-
keep
I
some
mean, you
of
could
that
certainly
traffic off of that road.
weight limit and keep the delivery trucks off of it. If
Okay.
you wanted to.
That might be something we might want to look at with that, if we get that kind of traffic.
But you said the state's already recognized that as a commercial corridor, in the
As
city.
far as we've understood it, I mean, somebody spoke about leaving it in the city, but a lot of us that's old like me remember when the city wasn't even at McDonald's.
Yeah,
I mean, the city would love to have that commercial corridor all the way to Wilton Springs and 440.
Right. I mean, I'm just trying to address, some of those concerns that
Yes.
the public has.
And a lot of it, like, I live on 411, and I sure didn't like it when the dollar store got in front of me.
Yeah, well.
But I mean, there's a kind of a price you pay when you live on a good road.
But I mean, maybe with that Rebel Road there, we might be able, as a
You
county,
could
to way
limit
limit it, and
that.
try to keep commercial property or commercial vehicles off of there
Yes, ma'am.
for them. And that might be something we can do to help them some way, so. Okay, thank you, sir, I appreciate it.
What's the setback footage?
On the commercial road, Jonathan, I mean, I don't have any notes in front of me, but it's probably gonna be, it's likely more than 50 feet off of the road, plus an additional, they're gonna have parking and all that. It'd be more than 30, 35 on the sides and probably at least 50 off the front setback.
How about the back?
Back,
Like towards those houses?
I'm thinking 30, 25 to 30. And again, I don't have this stuff in front of me.
Okay, all right.
Have they already submitted a site plan?
I guess it was sort of one. I mean, it was kind of sort of, it looked like it was a commercial spec building, and that, it looked like, 1 or 2 unit commercial spec building. I mean, it didn't, I don't know if that's a strip mall or they intend on it being growing from there. But I mean, what we saw was one building, maybe 1 or 2 units.
Obviously, they'll have to come back with that as well.
I think, as built, they need to.
They'll have to come back to you guys for
I
more
would
approval.
like, I'd like to think so.
Yeah.
But of course, we got, a lot of folks don't want to follow any, I mean, we're dealing with the tiny homes now that just refuse to recognize the rules, and
I guess what I'm saying, they are supposed to.
they are supposed to.
Yeah.
any other questions?
The attorney, I got one for him. How do we address that problem? When we have people that are.
That's not, let's stay on topic right here, and then we'll move on, because I've got a question about that too for you.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask you something, Mr. Morgan. Is there a possibility, if we vote this down, could the city come back and annex that property?
I don't know, I mean, they'll have to go a long way outside of the city limits. I don't know, I mean, but I mean, I think they like to claim stuff as what they used to have was planning regions. Like, that's outside of their city limits. I think they're trying to claim 440, but we can't find where we signed off for them to have 440, but they are trying to claim a lot of planning region for the city. And I'm not mad at the city.
Is that a pretty good size, in your opinion, is that a pretty good size mileage away from the city to annex 440?
Yes, what, 5 miles? I mean,
So it's a lot closer for them to annex this property right here than it is to 440.
Probably 3 miles, yeah.
Okay, I just want to make it clear because I don't,
Can't spot in it anymore.
I
Can't spot
respect
it,
the
but they can claim a planning region.
Let's stay one at a time, please.
Yeah, they can claim a planning region. But I mean,
that was just a.
when the 4-lane roads come in, it changes the circumstances a lot on your neighborhoods.
Now, Mr. Bird, you have a question?
No, I just babbling.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody else have any questions? I'm sorry, but we can't allow,
I'll be real brief. Okay.
no, I'm sorry, we can't. We had time for public comments earlier in the,
Actually, I do have one more
Go
question,
ahead.
sir. And this is, we're on item B, item C down below it is pretty much the same. Is this the same property, maybe with maybe a piece right beside this one? Both number 83 on the map.
yeah,
The only difference is
83 covers a lot, yeah. This,
number 81.13
so,
to 16.
this 81, the next one in line, I guess we need, Mr. Morgan back up here again. Where's it located compared to the first one? the second one.
I was thinking it's all together right there.
It's all
I
one.
was- We had two people come in and one person didn't show up to represent the property, but I was thinking all of that was one property.
Just
So
one
we sent
piece.
over, yeah.
How many acres?
A total of 10 maybe?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any other questions? Hearing none. This is on B only right now. Roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Pass.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
No.
Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar,
This is a hard one. Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
10, 1 no, 2 absent, 1 pass.
All right, and I'll agree with you. It was, you know, and, I'll just say before we go on, you know, this zoning is the fact that it wasn't created to stop development. Necessarily, and all, it was not a safety issue. And, if it's on a highway, it's hard to, you know, somebody eventually is gonna develop one way or another. But anyway, all right, C, in the matter of approving the rezoning of property located on Cosby Highway, map 083, 081.16 from R1 to C2. We have a motion to approve. Mr. McMahon, do we have a second? Mr. Ford. Any questions? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Gayla Blazer, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
No.
Rick Vassar,
It's another hard one. Yes.
Wilma Ball, David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
10, 29, and
All right, that motion carried. In the matter of accepting in the minutes the Cocke County Register of Deeds holiday policy.
I'll make the motion
Mr.
to
Vassar, we
approve.
have a second. Mr. McMahon, any questions? It's a policy change. Let's do a roll call on that.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright,
Yes.
Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
12 and 2, sir.
All right, that motion carried. In the matter of approving the Helene Emergency Assistance Loan Program Agreement with TEMA. Do I have a motion to approve? Mr. McMahon, seconded. Mr. Verdahl, any questions? Sir?
At one point, I forget where it was, it talked about Cocke County can't amend bylaws or any laws without approving, without FEMA approving. I'm trying to find it here, I read through it earlier and saw that. I was wondering what that, should have marked it. I don't know if that was in relation to the funding or in general? Because that would be a major deal.
I'm not sure what you're asking for.
It says on here that Cocke County may not alter bylaws or laws. So legislative, without approval of TEMA.
You're talking about for the floodplain administration?
That's what I'm wondering, if it's in relation to, you know.
Do you have any input on this?
I'm trying to find where it's at.
If I'm not mistaken, this is part, you're talking about this specific item here, right?
Yes.
This is part of the recovery program that TEMA offers for flood.
Right.
Flood, and all it says, it's, the mayor had talked about it. It's, I don't want to speak out of turn.
I was just making sure it's not.
It's not going to affect anything.
Affect as far as county business.
Right.
If TEMA just comes in and says, hey, no, we don't approve that.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You know.
In other words, it's not going to tie us down to something.
Yes.
That's what you're asking.
Yes.
And that's a good question.
Mr. Porter, are you talking about item 3 in the document?
What page, what?
It's on the second page, it's number 3, is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Yes, yeah, that's what I was.
So, all right, so item 3 provides this: the county agrees that it will not change its articles of incorporation, charter, or bylaws without the written consent of TEMA. I think it applies directly to whatever may affect our relation with TEMA, right? And so we would seek their approval of whatever it is in relation to this program. All right?
But we'll have, if we change anything in that program, we'll have to get their approval anyway to stay certified, correct?
Exactly.
So I think the loan, as far as the loan, from what I understand, this loan program will have it has no effect on anything as far as that goes. Because if we change anything in those bylaws, according to the NFIP, we have to get their approval anyway to stay certified. It has to be something along the lines of what they require.
I was just
So it
making
makes
sure it
sense.
didn't go outside the scope.
Right.
Of what, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Good question. Anybody else have any questions? If not, roll call, please.
Andy Ford,
Yes.
Bill Miller,
Yes.
Gayla Blazer,
Yes.
Jason McMahon,
Yes.
Norman Smith,
Yes.
Tracy Stepp, Jonathan Templin,
Yes.
Jeff Esslinger,
Yes.
Dan Bright, Wilma Ball, Rick Vassar,
Yes.
David Verdahl,
Yes.
Tim Lehman,
Yes.
Billy Hudson.
Yes, ma'am.
Twelve and two, sir.
All right, thank you. Miscellaneous? Go ahead.
I just want to say, we just lost a long-time CLB member, Mr. Lindsey. And I want to make sure that everybody keeps that family in prayers, because Larry passed away as well, just recently as well.
I served with Mr. Lindsay years ago. He's a good man.
Yeah, he's been there a long time.
And back to what Ms. Blazer was talking about, we have instances where people are not following the rules, and they're just okay. We're going to do it anyway.
So how are we going to address that? in the
Well,
county?
I don't think we should have to. I don't think the county commission should have to come to. We should have to wait a month to come to the county commission to tell Ashley to take action on it.
Right.
Because if they're breaking the rules, they're breaking, and it goes back to what Mr. Ford was asking. He asked here a while back, are they breaking rules? Yeah, they were breaking laws. They were breaking rules. And we have people out there now that's doing it, that's working. I think we should give Ashley, I think she should have the leeway. Okay, if they're breaking the rules and breaking the laws, take action on them. Go to them and give them a stop work order. From this day, you need to know you're stopped. Go ahead.
I'll be back to speak to this for a second.
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's a Sergeant Horst there's a couple of different things that we're dealing with here. One, we've got our zoning regulations, that's one thing. And whether they apply or not, subdivision regulations, which have been in effect since the 70s, they do apply in a lot of cases. And I think that's what our issue with tiny homes comes down to. And basically, our subdivision regulations, they are a bare minimum regulation, basically, the regulations. And this is what it says: to ensure harmonious development by requiring, quote, adequate, efficient, and economic supply of utilities and standards for road development to prevent traffic hazards and to ensure safe and convenient traffic circulation throughout the county. Now, that's what they say, and that needs to be enforced. And so, how do we enforce that? The statute, there's a statute, the Tennessee Code section, that gives us further guidance. And what it says is, it is any building erected on a property that hasn't gone through our process and received planning commission approval through our subdivision regulations, any building so erected is an unlawful structure, and the state building commission or the county attorney or other official designated by the county legislative body may institute a civil action to enjoin such erection or cause it to be vacated or removed. And so that's where we are. We do have that authority. I just don't know, I don't have the history of whether that's been enforced. But going forward,
At some point, we need to enforce it if we're having all these people that are not doing what they're supposed to, right? I mean,
right, if someone is, everyone that wishes to enter into development, I shouldn't say everyone, because there might be an exception or two to that, but basically everyone that wishes to engage in the development is going to have to comply unless there's an exception to our subdivision regulations. If you're out subdividing property, and there's a very broad definition for that in the Tennessee Code. So whether that applies to tiny homes or not, that's part of my letter.
Sir?
So what we just passed, for example, on the rezoning from residential to commercial,
Correct.
when they develop that piece of property, they are required to go back to our planning commission and build to the actual specifications according to the zoning laws that we have in place.
Right.
Those laws are in place, and a lot of people left. They should know this. A lot of those laws are in place to address a lot of the issues
The
they had.
very things that they were talking about.
So they needed to know that. And I just wanted to point that out for the ones that are still here.
Yeah,
So, thank you.
that's why we have a planning commission. That's why we have subdivision regulations. And that's why we have a new layer of zoning regulations.
Any other questions?
So what are you?
Best practices for other counties, how they handle that.
As far as how to enforce it, I'll file a lawsuit and enjoin their operation from doing any further construction until they comply with the regulations. So that's what we will seek.
I mean, I think that, I don't know, but I understand that tiny homes have just went on and on and on and on. So at what point do we say, no, at the very first time they do that? Or, I mean, we should, I think, or are we gonna wait, well, we'll let you buy them, we'll work with you, try to get you. I know the planning commission has trying to work with people, so at what point?
Yeah, there's a lot in the correspondence over the last year plus.
I mean, going forward with others, at what point would we do that? At the very first time that they say, well, I'm just gonna skirt the law and do what I wanna do?
Exactly,
Okay,
exactly.
And it's not just them, there's another instance.
I know, I mean, that's what I'm saying, you know, we need to make sure that people know this is what's gonna happen at what point we're doing that, and we're not gonna waste 18 months trying to be nice.
Right.
Okay,
Given how the county's been
although I'm
treated
nice,
so
I just,
far, zero tolerance policy,
in other words, at the first.
after the way the county's been took advantage of so far, yeah, zero tolerance on infractions.
Any other questions? Do I have a motion to adjourn? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.